Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio, the podcast for all things Mecha. Jumpship incoming.
All right. Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio, episode 10. I am this month's host, Chopper. 1 month post, 1 month late host, Chopper. And with me is...
Brian.
And Rob. We're going to probably put this one out and do another one, or is this one going to be for May? What are we doing here, people?
We'll put this one out, and then we'll do one for me.
Okay, so It's only going to be about a week late. It's not horrible.
Yeah.
Stop complaining, people.
Adepticon.
Yeah, they were honest right away.
And C2E2 kind of put us in a time schedule crunch.
Yeah.
And rather than try and force something out, we thought we'd just wait till Adepticon. Plus, we'd give us more stuff to talk to since we went to Adepticon.
Truth is, we just forgot to record it.
That's not the truth, because I had C2E2. I had things to talk about C2E2, so...
We thought about maybe possibly doing it at Adepticon since we were all there, but we were just so busy.
Yeah, we didn't get to do what we wanted to do, let alone this. Oh, wait. Yeah. That makes it sound like we don't want to do this, but...
All right, so welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. So should we go ahead and get this dropship rolling?
Yep. Mixing metaphors. Excellent.
Rolling.
Dropship landing.
And welcome to the dropship. And the dropship, again, since we took a month off, let's just reiterate. This is what we talk about, what we've been working on and things we've been doing. So let's go backwards. Let's start with you, Rob. What have you been working on?
We didn't take a month off. We took a week off. It's only a week late.
Just being dramatic.
Jeez.
Feels like a month.
Feels like forever. Well, it feels like so long that I think I forgot to write down what I was actually working on. I did write down I was working on a Jarja Neo Xeon prototype from Gundam Loot, and it was pretty cool. I think that was the orange one. I think that's the orange one.
Is that animal thing, or
no? It was a Mech, and it was just a it's orange, I believe. Let me just confirm that it's orange.
It is orange.
Yes.
I'm taking a look at the picture so I can see what it looks like.
Yeah, and he was orange. I'll give him that. Nobody's.
Came in your Gundam Loot?
Yeah, this is Gundam Loot. I think he would have been a much better kit if he wasn't orange. It was a real fun build, but he's still cool. I like him.
I don't know. I think it looks alright. Orange and gold?
Well, he's like more, I guess he's more of not orange. He's more of the reddish orange. The one after that, which I forgot about, was the Beam Master. Now, he is orange. The Jarja was a little bit more reddish orange. You look up the GM3 Beam Master. This guy is orange. And I like him a lot. I love the kit. But, yeah, it's the color.
Oh, yeah.
If he was in black, or I actually thought about actually painting him, because I love GMs, and this is a really nice one. But it's the color that's really throws me off. He's got like shoulder-mounted missiles and a big shield and a chain gun. It's like a sniper rifle with a chain gun on top. And I think he's got 2 swords too. Like you could equip him with 2 swords. Like not even like beam light. I think they're actually like swords. They're pretty cool. But I like them a lot. But yeah, the color is a little off. But I do love my GMs. I think I'm going to try to collect them all.
If that's like Pokemon.
Yeah. All the gyms?
Yep, just get all of them. And
give me mine. Gotta.
Yeah, I love those guys. So that's, I think that's all I've been working on. I had to catch up for Adepticon to do all the Mechzone, but we'll talk about that probably in ComStar. Yeah, I don't think I was working on anything else, so there you go. What are you doing then, Brian? Brian, please tell us you've been working on something.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure March was kind of a crazy month, so I apologize if I mentioned this earlier. So I've been talking about how I got this like fantasy mech that I've been putting together from various different mechs and pieces and parts. I've got the majority of the Wraith Knight the Eldar Wraith Knight body and legs together to form my main frame. And then
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's 40K?
I didn't mention 40K at all.
Oh, sorry.
I said Eldar. So you must know. Anyway, so I didn't want it to just be like an Eldar theme and retool kind of thing. So I went and ordered some Gundam pieces to kind of help flesh it out, something with a little bit more of a unique look to it. And I just so happened to order a Exia. I decided to go with Exia for the helmets and potentially arms. I'm going to see how those work out, and probably the sword. And when it arrived, it turns out I had ordered a real grade.
Oh, nice.
And it was
best.
And it was too small for the design I was going for. So I now have a real grade kit that I've put the helmet together on, and then I've ordered a not a master grade, but the other like 1/100th no grade scale. So it's kind of the cheaper version, because I think that should give me the right proportions to the body. Like, I mean, this thing was just like a little tiny dot on top of that torso. So hoping that turns out a little bit better. Otherwise, I might have to figure something else out. But yeah, so that was kind of a piece that's been coming along. Otherwise, Adepticon prep took a lot of my extracurricular modeling time. But I will eventually break out more of my gear, my mechs that I've been accumulating. I've got like 6 kits now that are all still in the box. So
just 6?
Just 6, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's just like Gundam stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if I remember when the last time I had just 6 kits laying around.
Yeah, but you're a hoarder. You have ridiculous amounts of stuff.
Yeah. So that about wraps up what I've been working on mostly. How about you, Pat?
Well, it was a busy month for me in March, so I didn't get too much stuff done. Mostly in the month of March, I was working on my Cav Force still, just trying to finish up my rack. Pretty much almost done with the tanks, and then on to the mechs. I got the infantry, tanks, and then once the mechs are done, I should have 5,000 points all ready to go.
Oh, nice.
So, looking forward to really knocking that out, though. I've been kind of dabbling at it in between projects, but now that Adepticon's over, and I got a couple months before Adepticon, and Adepticon's not a huge... Gen Con is not a huge miniature one, so I won't be doing too much painting for that one. I think I'll be able to get a little more done. I might even actually be able to bust out one of my many new model kits. While not directly Mech related, I have been working on a Viper launch bay diorama. I've been 3D printing all the parts I need, and it's built for the what scale? I think it's the 1/44th scale Viper that Monogram and Mobius have put out. So it's gonna look good. I'm very excited. It's a piece of my childhood that I love. And I really wanted to do it right. So, and Rob was there when I went and bought some brass pipes to.
Mm-hmm.
I also made you buy Great Mazinger at the same time kit. So.
Oh yeah, that's a ComStar thing, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, what we bought. Yeah, I guess so. We can throw that in the ComStar.
So not too much. So, like I said, month of March was a bit. It was a bit busy for all of us, so we didn't get too much done. So,
yeah, a good week of it was Adepticon. So,
yeah, so we really lost a week worth of hobby time just to being at a convention. So, I mean, worse things are worse, I guess, right?
Yeah,
we can't complain too much.
So, how about we just go on then to ComStar then, because I feel like we have a lot to talk about there.
Yeah, for sure, we'll have a lot more there.
All right, let's move on.
Message from ComStar.
All right, welcome back. We are now at ComStar. We're going to talk about what we've been doing. So, Brian went first, so why don't you go first now, Rob?
No, I went first last time.
Did you?
Yep.
All right. Well, Brian, you're up.
All right. A lot of things, as you can imagine. I've been reading through the Alita Battle Angel manga, which is proving to be pretty spectacular. So that's again kind of a cyberpunk series that recently had a movie come out. If you've been living under a rock, but it's really fun. There's a lot of crazy giant robots and cyborgs and stuff in that. Some other things that have been going on. I picked up a copy of that Robotech board game that Pat had found. That one that reminds me a lot of the Battlestar Galactica board game.
Which one is that one?
It's the what is it called? The Defense of the SDF-1 or something
Attack
like that?
on SDF.
Oh yeah,
Attack of SDF. Yeah, so I got my hands on a copy of that. I'm pretty excited to get around to playing it at some point. I need to gather some folks to do that.
Where did you get it? Did you buy it online or?
Yeah, I got that one online. It was going for a pretty good deal. Or wait, did I? I might have got that in one. Actually, at my local store, I picked that up. That's right.
Nice.
I saw the picture that they had it online. That's what it was.
Shout out to Evo.
This one was Summit Comics and Games, actually.
Shout out to Summit Comic Games.
Yep, in the Lansing area of Michigan. We got a lot of great comic shops.
Did you get your SD1 put together?
Not yet. I remember what you guys had said about the cardboard kind of being flaky, so I haven't quite done that just yet.
Yeah, just leave it together when you're done.
Yeah. I gotta find a spot to set it up here.
Yeah, when I was at Pat's for Adepticon there, we stopped by his treasure hoard in his basement, and the SDF-1 was sitting on the one of the boxes there. I had to check it out. It's impressive in person. It's so big and pretty nice there. It's not a like a model or anything, but it's for cardboard. It's really cool.
It's really neat to see like new things coming out for that license. I know it's kind of had a shaky past a couple of years back, but I'm glad like new things that can really bring people into the franchise are coming out.
Yeah,
it's pretty exciting.
Good stuff, at least.
Well, and then there's a bunch of other stuff too. I think Harmony Gold's new method is just shotgun everything. Everybody make everything for it. And some of it's going to be great, and some of it's going to be like motorized min-mays who roll around on a table.
It's going to be. I'm sure it'll be a mixed bag.
or min-may 3D or Blu-ray speaker, Bluetooth speaker that sings along with the music you play through it. Like, there's a lot of weird stuff too, but there's also a lot of great stuff. So, I think like a lot of people complain about Harmony Gold, but at least this way, it's going to be so much that sure they're flooding the market, but you only have to buy what you want to buy. So. Pick the best stuff and buy the best stuff.
Yeah.
And the games so far, there's those card games. I think it's by the same people as the Attack on SDF-1, and there's a couple card games coming out, and that game. Like there's a lot of games coming out, so that'd be fun. So
yeah, exciting time.
Yeah.
Similarly on a Macross front, I suppose I could have mentioned it in the last section, but I play this game called Dreadball. Which has, it's a sci-fi version of like rollerball meets lacrosse. It's a blast in itself, but, you can get these characters called cheerleaders, and I decided to start painting mine up a la the Macross, singing idols, from Macross Delta. And so I had a lot of fun doing that, and I've started mapping out all of the other characters that I want to do in that style. I think it's a lot of fun.
You should get like the enforcer, not the enforcer team, but I guess it is an enforcer team, right? One of the early ones. They just look like generic guys. You should paint them all up like all the different squadrons, like Skull Squadron and.
Oh yeah. That would be fun to theme them in that theme. Yeah, It's very fitting for a Macross setting. I've got my there's a team called the Kalishi, who are kind of the Dreadball team is like a bunch of Amazon alien warrior women kind of thing. And I've basically kind of painted them up to be my Metlandy team. And so my grand scheme is to even like make this display board that's just like the base of an aircraft carrier, with one of my transforming VF1s to sit in the background, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, our friend Jeff Burbage, he was talking about, he planned to do it for this Adepticon, but he just ran out of time. He's going to do a custom Dreadball board, which is the hangar bay, because the game originated in the hangar bays of these militaries in space. So it's going to be a hangar bay with a aircraft on one side and be able to place the mat in the middle, and so you could easily do one like that and theme it towards Macross. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because the 1/100 scale, the ones from like Toonami, they're pretty close. I wouldn't think they're too much off of like if you put them in the background, they'd look like they're a little bit farther away because they're a bit smaller, I guess, technically. But
yeah, they're pretty close when you got like a 28 millimeter miniature person up against like a 1/100, or even pretty close to like the. I've got a picture, I think I posted it, of like the models that I painted against some of the action figures I have of VF1 and a Quaidlam Rao. But they fit pretty well into that scale, so it should be fun. I imagine we'll kind of have a huge section on Adepticon itself.
Yeah.
So before I dive into that, I want to say a shout out to a show that a couple of us watched on Netflix, is the Love, Death, and Robots.
Yep.
I haven't watched that yet.
You haven't watched it yet? Okay. So we won't go into spoilers. It's a series that's a bunch of vignettes, individual little stories that are all animated. Some by the same studio. Some of them are like CG, 3D. Some are 2D animated. They're all pretty interesting.
And some are very adult too, so you have to be careful.
Yes, this is not for kids.
Well, the one with the mechs, I think that's for kids. There's nothing in that's.
So there's this great one called Suits, which has a whole bunch of mecha in it. Farmers and Mecha.
Yeah.
So if you like that kind of premise, you'll enjoy this. So it's the show itself is kind of a mixed bag. There's some really, really cool episodes, and then there's some that was enjoyable episodes, and then there's some like
Yeah.
But all of them were very like from an like artistic standpoint, they were all pretty unique and interesting.
Well, so I found some of them a little bit too artistic. They were trying, they're trying to be weird and different, and it's like, well, tell a good story first, and then add on a weird story.
Yeah.
But that Suits one is really good and really fun, and yeah, I think anybody can watch it because the only real violence in it is against aliens. Like there's some death, but not crazy. You're not seeing anybody get stomped or anything. Like some of them, you literally see people getting their heads crushed and stuff. Like there's some really extreme stuff in some of them, but that Suits one, I think it's episode 6 or something like that, 5.
Well,
somewhere.
it's kind of different because apparently Netflix like randomizes the order of the episodes.
Oh, do they?
So that doesn't help.
Yeah.
So, but definitely check it out. Like we said, there are some episodes that are more mature than others, airing on most of them.
Yeah.
So, just keeping that in mind. But otherwise, apart from Adepticon stuff, that pretty much covers a lot of what I've had going on. How about you, Rob?
I've had a bunch of stuff going on. I was saying Mechzone 3.0. Me and my friend Jack from Dead Zone the podcast, we redesigned, modified, updated Mechzone to the Dead Zone 2 rules and made it more of an arena fight with very unique mechs. We built all our mechs. Some of them have tentacles. Some have large swords or spears or flails for arms. But we modified up all the Dead Zone Striders and Iron Ancestors we had that Mantic provided us. We were able to mod those up and put them in the game. We have 8 mechs currently, but hopefully next year we'll get some stunt bots. Pat will have to hit you up for some stunt bots to throw in there. We've got an expansion.
Those things look so cool in person, guys. If you missed out on it, it's a real shame because they were so cool.
Yeah, I'll post some pictures in the Facebook group, and we'll also have a link to the print and play rules. You don't need to use the Dead Zone stuff. All you need really is a gridded 8x8 mat, and any kind of mechs you can use. You can just modify it up to use them. Really, the grid is what's really important. That's the best thing about Dead Zone anyways, the grid. So it's play
Keeps
Dead Zone.
things nice and simple.
So it's a real simple version of Dead Zone Mechzone is, but yeah, it's good. So that'll be up. I'll post that up so everybody can print that and play that. Hopefully it'll be a nice beer and pretzels kind of, you get some mechs and fight each other on a grid kind of thing, so.
Yeah.
And hopefully Mantic puts it out as a game. I've been trying to persuade Pat to put some people out there. We want this to be a real game. Everybody does box sets now. You have to repurpose your items and put them out and pretend they're all new. That's the way that miniature companies do it nowadays. So, other than that, I came home from Adepticon and found that I had a bunch of Battletech books that I bought on eBay. Came in, like a lot of nice old ones, which was nice. I also picked up some of Catalyst books. They were there at Adepticon, which was great. Mm-hmm. And I was able to pick up a couple of the technical readouts and the rule set. And then I went to Pat's game store we always go to. What's the name of that game store?
Games Plus.
Games Plus in Chicago. Well, what's it technically in? It's not Chicago.
It's in, Mount Prospect.
There you go. And it's, I got, Alpha Strike and its companion, which you can't find anywhere. We got it for cover price. Both me and Pat picked that up. So, might get some Alpha Strike in. And, our friend Brian Wade was also really nice. The other Brian, as we like to call him, was really nice. He gave, both me and Pat also, map sets. So that were out of print map sets. So we got lots of extra mats too.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I never picked up the neoprene mat. They were selling neoprene mats for Battletech. I was like, well, I got a lot of maps. I don't think I need
Yeah, I don't think I need another. I got a lot of laying around my basement. I don't need any more. Yeah. Especially for a game that I'll play intermittently.
Yeah. And it's hex based, so it's not even like you could use it for other things. It's definitely going to have the hexes on it and the numbers like they do for the
Except Dreadball.
That's true. You probably could use it for Dreadball. That's true.
I think you can use them in Ogre too.
Ogre's hexes, yeah. But Ogre needs more space than that, I would think.
It's true. Ogre needs a lot.
I saw your Ogre box sitting on the floor. It is, 4 foot long by 2 foot wide at least? I'd say it's huge.
I think it's 2.5 by 2.
Oh, that thing is gigantic. I was like, dear God, you could use that as a coffee table.
It's true. You put some legs on it.
What else?
And it'll walk away.
Yeah. Ogre. It's a classic game. And also got a knockoff Devastator, which I love. He's my new favorite thing. He looks like an anime version of Devastator. He's a little bit more lanky, and I love that guy. So I got him from AliExpress, good old China. You can buy anything there. And I love my Devastator. I'm never going to take him apart. He's in Devastator mode all the time now. I also picked up tons of extra Transformers, but we won't talk about that. There's just too many.
There's a lot of Transformers.
I think I'm actually done collecting Transformers. I've filled up 2 shelves now. I think I'm done.
There was that Transformers comics thing on Humble Bundle.
Yeah, we bought that.
It might be still available now. If you go on Humble Bundle when you first hear this, it might be still available. If not, you can always just go on Comixology. It's pretty cheap to get these anyways. But it was the almost, I'd say, 90% of the Transformers IDW comics.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
So, yeah, we might be doing something with that, right, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, I read through one already.
Oh, have you? I haven't even started yet. I got too many other comics to read.
I started with the Origins, so I started with Megatron Origins. So.
Yeah, that's good. And, yeah, I think that covers everything. Still playing Battletech. I'm playing XCOM 2 more. There's some sort of mechs in that game, so that counts.
That's a fun one.
I got the expansion. It was on the War of the Chosen, I think it's called. It was on sale, so I finally got that.
Nice.
And, yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else. books. I've been still reading all through the Battletech books, and I think some of that might come up in the Mech Hanger. So, there you go. Pat, what do you got?
Well, let's see. Well, we talked about the Humble Bumbles. I picked up some of that, read the Megatron Origins book. I liked it, actually. The actual graphics of the pictures themselves were a little bit hard to follow.
So it's like the Michael Bay movies?
Almost. I mean, I couldn't tell that in the beginning that was supposed to be Megatron. It took me a while to figure it out, just the way he looked. I mean, I'm not saying he's supposed to be looking like he looks now, because
it's in the
evolved
Cybertron or whatever.
But just the way it was drawn was very, not horrible, but it was in a weird that I couldn't see, especially when they were fighting. I couldn't see what action was going on.
Yeah, that's annoying. Especially in a comic where you can actually look at it. I understand a movie where it's in full speed, you're like, okay, I can't really understand what's going on. But a comic, there's no excuse not to have a well laid out panel of people fighting.
Yeah, so it was in that sense it was a little hard to figure out. Or if there was no dialogue trying to figure out what was going on in the panel.
So that sounds like an art issue for sure.
Yeah, so but the story itself was good. I liked reading about how Megatron becomes Megatron.
I assume it's because he's just born that way.
No. Do you want me to spoil it for you?
No, because I'm going to read it.
All right.
I'm actually just opened up the comic to see the art. I want to see this art.
They drank his milkshake.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I spoiled it all. I have not read these comics.
They gave him chocolate instead of vanilla.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. It looks actually, the art is really nice, but I can see
it is nice, but there's confusing panels in there where I don't understand what's going on in this panel.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. And who's who? I can see how you're having a hard time. A lot of books
I don't know who's who in the fight.
I may have gotten to a spoiler, but is that a GoBot?
No.
Well, it looks like Cykill, the GoBot. I think it's one of the retcons or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways,
go.
So I got the Humble Bumble Adepticon haul. Let's see. I picked up Giga Robo.
Yes, Giga Robo.
Spent a little money on that. That looks like a fun game. It's a mixture of miniatures and cards. One of the cool things about it I read is that you can chain your attacks, so you can make a combo attack like a V game in that sense. But your opponent can counter it and things like that. So.
Yeah, I heard them talking about it. A guy gave us the sales pitch on it. Like your mech has different stats and your pilots have different stats.
Yeah, so and the two boards interconnect, so you can. So basically, you can mix and match. So you can put a pilot in a different mech, and then next time you play, you can take the same pilot, put him in a different mech, and you'd be playing a wholly different game. Because each pilot has their own set of cards, and each robot has one of their own sets of cards. So
that's interesting.
I'll be doing, hopefully in the next couple of days, I'll be able to do a video and unboxing and put that on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, the Mechzone look very super robot, more like classic. Some of them, I guess, the expansions. There's some of them look more Gundam almost, but the early ones look Mazinger and those kind of gigantic
Power Rangers kind of thing.
Yeah.
More
they're good
classic.
sculpts. But that being said, they're still very good sculpts. Yeah, they're more the classic anime.
Yeah,
they look really cool.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to painting them.
Where Monster Apocalypse from who's that from? Privateer Press. That reminds me a lot more Pacific Rim. That's more of the more realistic kind of robots going on.
Yeah,
because I think that would be the game you'd compare it to most, right? Like that came out GKR, I guess, but GKR is different scale, I think.
Yeah, the Weather Workshop has got their own little niche for that, and the robots are very unique and stuff like that. So, what else? Did I pick anything up that was more mech related at Adepticon? Other than Giga Robo?
No, I don't think so. It wasn't like Gen Con, where there's a lot more things you went crazy for mechs at Gen Con last year, and I think this year it's going to be for me. I'm probably going to pick up that Attack on STF-1.
And I saw that, we saw that expansion for GKR, probably pick that up at Gen Con.
Yeah. If I can find room in my bag, which I'll have to bring clothes that I can throw out, I would try to get GKR, but it's so big, that box.
Well, you'd have to just take it out of the box and transport it without the box.
That box is so nice.
Yeah.
The quality of the Wedo stuff is just So, like, they are graphic designers. You can tell they're artists.
What we could do is we can give the box to Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to...
We could start car trailing it to Michigan and
yeah, drop it off.
It's gonna be a whole thing where it's like an underground railroad of mech parts. It's sad.
So what else did I pick up? We picked up the Alshap book that we were able to Games Plus. I haven't read it yet. Have you read through it yet?
No, I haven't done anything yet. I've been working nonstop.
Then I picked up a Mazinger Z model from Bandai. It's a high grade. I mean, so it's okay. I mean, I like high grade, but I prefer a real grade. But
was it the Great Mazinger or the Mazinger?
No, it was the Mazinger Z.
Because they had both of them there. There's just pretty much different heads. I think that's the only difference.
Yeah, and a version of different comics. So, what else did we do? We went to Mitsuwa, a Japanese market. That, supposed to take Brian, but he didn't go.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed that I missed out on going to that.
You would have died. There was literally like at points I'm like, Brian couldn't be here. It's too much for him.
It's a wall of manga and anime plus aisles, Gundams inside a bookstore.
Yeah, more than a wall because it actually went into the aisles of it too of the manga.
Yeah,
and then the kits, were pretty much a whole row, and like everything. And then there was a whole other store that was just subbed anime.
Oh yeah,
DVDs.
The videos. Yeah,
direct from Japan, pretty much look like.
Oh wow.
Yeah, whatever video you need, you can get. Like they had a bunch of Mazinger English subbed episodes that I'm thinking actually about picking up because I do enjoy Mazinger Z.
Yeah, it was like chock full of everything. Like it wasn't just I think it was all anime, but it was all like not just
no. There were some dramas.
Actually shows. Yeah, it was crazy.
Live action.
Yeah. It was just lots of different stuff. That's for sure. Yeah, and we had a good lunch. We had a nice Japanese lunch there. So it was.
Yep.
It's a really good place. If you're in Chicago area, what's it called again?
Mitsuwa. Yeah, it's an actual supermarket, Japanese supermarket, and then inside the supermarket building. There are other little stores like the bookstore where we went and saw the Gundams, and then we stopped and got some mochi, ice cream mochi at the mochi place. And then there's a food court where we ate lunch, and then there's the video store.
And amongst other things.
Nice.
But the things we're interested in, that was that bookstore though is full of it had all the capsule things and tons of stuff.
Oh man. I'll have to check this place out.
It's like going to Japan without going to Japan. And obviously it was, you go in there and it's just all Japanese people buying their food. Like it's like a grocery store that they get what was tell the squid story.
Oh, you mean the octopus tentacle?
Yeah.
So when I first started dating my wife, we went there and I went there to get something. I forget what it was, but then we were walking through the meat section, and it's just like any other meat section you have in a grocery store. You got your steaks and everything. But what they have, and it's not so weird to me because I grew up with this stuff, was a giant tentacle, looked like about the size of a pork loin roast. And it was about maybe 6-7 inches long of an octopus tentacle. Just cut up, wrapped up like a piece of steak, and my wife just was fascinated by it. She was like, "Is that real? They sell it like that?" And if you don't know, my wife's from Utah and she's white. But she was just, not that makes any difference.
Yeah.
She just was poking at it. I'm like, will you quit poking the damn thing? Someone might want to buy it. And she's taking pictures. I can't believe they sell that stuff here like this. Well, where else are you going to get octopus tentacles? So it's just a funny thing. So every time we drive by Mitsuwa, I always ask her, do you want to stop at Mitsuwa and poke the tentacles?
That's not a euphemism.
No, that's a literal. What else did I get? I think that's it.
Yeah, you didn't have time. You were stuck in the booth at Adepticon.
I was stuck in the booth, so I didn't get to see Mechzone at all. That's it. I think the big mech buy for me was Giga Robo.
Yeah, like I said, there was the Catalyst Games was there, which is nice. That was the first time ever that they were at Adepticon.
Yeah, Battletech was there in a big way.
And they had all the box sets, and they were selling those out pretty quick. They went through a lot of those.
Yeah.
Their booth was pretty empty by the end of that show.
Yeah, I did not buy any Battletech stuff, though, because I already have most of it, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, I got a few of the technical readouts I didn't have. And, yeah, they were selling those mats where I think they're, I don't know if they're con exclusives, but they went fast, those neoprene mats. I think they had like, I don't know how much each day, but each day they got more and each day they sold out, so it was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, other than that, they had Monster Apocalypse there, Privateer Press. Not even that big of, they were showing off the painted minis, but not even that big of a booth or anything for that.
Yeah, I don't even think they were demoing the game.
No, they were demoing some other game that I didn't even recognize. And, yeah, then it was the other guys, for, Gigarobo, and they were demoing it there and showing off. And it comes with like, well, you'll see in the unboxing when Pat eventually does it, but.
Yeah, you'll get 4 robots, 4 pilots.
And buildings and, yeah, nice board. So that was other than that, I don't think, well, other than obviously in 40K you get a lot of the, knights and stuff, the big guys, but mech related, I don't know if there was much more. Battletech was playing I never saw it, but I saw pictures of it. They were playing a large scale game like they did at Gen
Oh,
Con.
yeah, and then there was that mobile suit,
Mobile Suit Skirmish?
Skirmish,
Yep.
Yeah. I was gonna mention that too, yeah. They had did they have like a full game going on? I know it was out in the kind of demo area.
I think he was demoing it more, yeah.
I had Rob look at it, because I didn't have time to sit around.
Yeah. And they were using the like, master grade, or like the normal grade, high grade, kits as the models.
Yeah, I think they were high grade kits.
And they, yeah, they were showing them out, and I guess they had a rule system. It was, you took a picture of the actual rule system, didn't you, Brian?
Yeah, it's, the Mobile Suit Skirmish is kind of its name. It's created by Liam Thomas. And, I tracked it down online. I can post I forget if I already posted the link, but if I didn't, I can,
You think he's local to the area? Chicago?
I'm not sure. Could be.
Yeah, it's hard to tell with Depticon people travel from all over, so you never know, but yeah. It looked interesting. It was, there was a lot of those kind of games out, so I never got to really get into it enough to know, how in-depth it is, but.
Yeah. I saw it when there was kind of a nice crowd of people around it, so, like, they had, I think, it was like, some ground type, Federation suits versus, looks like.
I saw a bunch of Zaku's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I forget which kind. There's so many suits in Gundam. But yeah, it was just like a 4-on-4 kind of skirmish game in like a wooded section. Looked really cool. I'm definitely gonna be tracking it down, and when I do get my Gundams put together, I'm gonna be playing some with some friends here.
Nice. All right. Anything else for ComStar? We talked about Megatron.
Other than Mechzone went really well.
I started watching. I don't know if this is mech related, but I started watching the new Ultraman on Netflix.
Oh, nice!
You've been waiting for that for a long time.
Yeah, so it's a little take. I mean, just the synopsis is that the original Ultraman gets separated from the being of light that makes him Ultraman, but in doing so, it left him with some special powers like super strength and all this stuff, and good healing ability. So then he has a kid. And the kid gets those powers.
Dun, da, da, da.
Yep, and he becomes the new Ultraman. But he doesn't transform with the, because he's not merged with the alien.
He doesn't get big?
He doesn't get big, but but they give him a power suit that makes him Ultraman. So, does all the cool Ultraman. So,
that's kind of neat.
He's more power suit mech related now than he was in the original Ultraman. So.
Interesting.
It's got that weird animation, though. I'm not sure how I feel about the animation.
Mm.
It's that newer kind of animation. I don't know if it's like the Genlock.
Like the Dragon Prince and stuff like that?
Yeah, it looks like they've done...
It's like CG, but 3D.
Yes, that's the easier way of saying it. I was going to say it's almost like an updated version of the old Lord of the Rings where you animate a live character.
Yeah, rotoscoping.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, you're right. It's CG, and it has 3D elements, but it's still flat, so it's almost cel-shaded.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm still on the
That's what I
fence
meant.
about the animation, but the storyline so far is pretty good. They're just 30-minute episodes. The suit looks spectacular.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe by the end he'll grow big.
Maybe. So
So much of my viewing is taken up right now by Critical Role. I've been trying to catch up from
That's a fool's
Series
errand.
1.
Yeah.
It kind of is. It's, yeah.
I gave up trying. I just was like, I can't watch 4 hours of people playing D&D every week. I cannot keep up to this.
Well, that I can do, because I play like an additional 6 hours of that every week. But it's just that it takes up all of my extra media time. So I haven't been watching really any new shows. That, like, the Love, Death, and Robots thing was brand new and I wanted to check it out. But like everything else, I'm so far behind on. I haven't watched any of Genlock yet.
yeah.
Genlock's good.
Check out Ultraman if you can.
Okay.
All right. So should we move on into the MechBay?
Sure.
All right.
Now entering the MechBay Hanger.
All right. Welcome to the MechBay. Today's topic is will mechs replace tanks? What do you think, Rob?
Yeah. Well, it's a long.
Yeah.
Well, I wish, but I actually had some pros and cons. I actually went through this. The thing I really think that that the anime got wrong, or games and 80s properties, is that they never saw the world of drones coming. I don't think if there is
that's a good point.
If there is mechs, I don't think they'll be remotely piloted. I don't think they'll actually have people in them, and or it'll be like Genlock where you can actually put your consciousness into them somehow. But I don't. Yeah, like it's not. I don't think it's you're gonna have piloted mechs just because there's no real reason to. Although I think we've always said this, it's if one superpower puts some mechs on the field, everybody has to start doing that because it's just going to be like an arms race. So we're hoping Russia's crazy enough just to make some mechs and throw them out there that everybody else will be like, oh, we got to do that now too.
Yeah.
And also Boston Dynamics with their crazy robots have shown that you could do gyrosynchronization and stuff so that you can have human-sized robots that won't fall over and are able to walk over rough terrain. And that's always what everybody complained about with mechs forever, was that, well, why would you ever have one if you get any rough terrain, they can't get over it. But it's like, we can do that. It's all about scale then. It doesn't matter how a robot's a robot. It doesn't matter how big it is. So
one of the biggest arguments against mechs being able to take over, or we'll call it a disadvantage, is that mechs can't right themselves.
But those robots can, yeah.
Yes, but they've shown that you can.
Yeah.
They can do it a lot better than a tank can.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's that too.
Until you flip a tank over, good luck.
And I think for mechs, though, I think construction is the place, not so much war, but like construction where you have a giant humanoid-shaped lifter, being able to lift things in a place and hold it like you would a human. I think that's a lot more sensible. Where,
it's
like,
an engineering function as opposed to a warfare version.
Because, you'd think of a crane, how clumsy that is to try to get a crane to do it. You get a giant mech able to lift something up and hold it in place like you would if you were that scale. Like that's something that I can see really working. And they are working on, like suits and stuff that'll like upgrade, like your movements get worked out into, like Waldo suits, like in, Aliens. They're like, that's real now. Like they do that with, not as a whole suit, like a walking suit, but they do it for like operating machinery by using your hands, and all of a sudden the thing will be gripping like nuclear stuff or dangerous things you don't want people touching. But the cons of it all, the things that I think will set it back, is that battleships, tanks, large weapons of war are being phased out currently in the way we wage war. It's all about mobile infantry, cheap, smaller targets, more effective and more useful in many situations. So I think mechs are a bit of a one-trick pony, where where the U.S. government working on right now is powered armor infantry. So you get more like Iron Man, maybe not flying Iron Man, but like more what's that?
Starship Troopers?
What is it? The Tom Cruise one? What's that? Day After Tomorrow?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's when I say Starship Troopers, I mean the book Starship.
The real Starship Troopers. Yeah.
Which is pretty much what those jackets were.
Yeah. So I see that's much more likely. Like I say, it just takes Russia though going crazy and building a mech that we just need some crazy like totalitarian regime somewhere. I guess in like Zimbabwe or somewhere they're doing the weird mechs there. But we need like a real one that all of a sudden you have those walking and being terror items. That could change the world, but
yeah, I guess my argument is I don't think they'll replace tanks. Just like you said, there's way too many cons than pros. I mean, one of the pros would be, a giant robot walking. That's terror right there. You're breaking morale with that thing. But one of my biggest thing about why at this point in our lives, just the energy amount to power a mech.
Yeah, that's always the issue with anything.
Just the energy, whether it's gas, nuclear power. Then if you were using nuclear power, then you have to worry about that thing exploding, and you're not really gonna. I mean, nuclear subs are.
Well, they're not getting. Part of them is that they're hidden.
Yeah, they're not getting a hand-to-hand combat. Yeah,
yeah, they're not going head-to-head unless it's another sub. So it's. I think it'd be cool. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're there to replace anything that we have now. Not with the energy requirements. I think they would be just way too expensive to repair.
Well, yeah, that's always an issue.
Yeah.
But they say that once we get, fission down, that kind of stuff, you can make it really small. And it's a lot less likely to explode.
Exactly. But at this point.
No, right, currently, I think you're right. It's kind of
large amount of the energy that requirements needed for a mech it doesn't make them feasible.
Yeah, it's the same reason we don't get railguns and things like that. It's just way too much energy.
Yeah.
I could see it, so like, I always like to go back to Macross when I think of like, okay, a show that had a justifiable good reason to have giant mecha.
Yeah.
Is you're being invaded by giants.
Yep.
That'll always kind of be a great cornerstone. I'm kind of with you on like they're just really impractical for Earth. But like the more I think about it, even like we're talking about the expansions in like power armor and things like that for soldiers, like there's going to be environments where you just need something a lot thicker than what just normal body armor can give you, but you want the finesse and flexibility that something with like opposable thumbs can give you.
Yeah, mobility.
So I would see something more in space is going to be a bigger place to look. And a fun series that kind of is that weird middle ground is if you guys have ever seen Outlaw Star. It's where it's mostly like your full on big spaceships and everything, but they have combat ones where they have like what they call them like grappler arms, I think. And so like basically if you ever seen like the space shuttle has that one crane that pops stuff out of its back and everything like that. Basically put two of those on, you got arms. Arms you would use for construction suddenly have a gun and an axe. And it's a fun, crazy show. Very much in that Trigun Cowboy Bebop flavor.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, like those are the three cornerstones of that late 90s anime. Definitely watch them.
Trigun is awesome.
Yeah. Outlaw Star, I think, could be that next step where it's, space vehicles getting arms and ways to move about. But I really could see, that was the whole thing, like with most of the Gundam, they technically started with gun tanks, right? Which is just a tank with a torso on it. And then it was, the Zeon forces developed the Zaku on the moon and whatnot. So, or just in space. I could be mixing up my timeline a bit. Don't hate me. But like, so that's where I'm like, you know, it would take less energy to power there because you're not fighting as much gravity, for something that is super heavy in the grand scheme of things. So that's where I could see that the future of that going. But it is
Space
really
applications are way better suited for a mech than say planet based.
Yeah, even or hostile environments, like you say, other planets or.
Mm-hmm.
And we were kind of thinking of current times, but yeah, future. That's totally different. We get future tech. You get, like, say, better power. You're up in space. You're who knows what you're going to be meeting, especially in Gundam, where it's all of a sudden the satellites. What are they? I forget what they're called. The
colonies.
Yeah, the colonies start fighting each other, and yeah, you want something that's more, because they want to go inside them too and walk around. Plus, so you can't have just fighter planes. You need both, and they're much more, makes a lot more sense in those things. Yeah, I was thinking more of a Battletech angle, but Battletech, I like the fact that I was just reading the book called The Ideal War, and it's about Thomas Merrick of the Free Worlds League. He created a Knights of the Inner Sphere to kind of bring back some knightly valor and some honorable to the war, because the clans had come in and started nuking people and fighting in cities and stuff, and they were trying to bring back
clans.
Oh yeah, clans ruin everything. So they were trying to bring back a civilized war, because it used, after the fall of the Star League, you had mechs and they were surrogates for war. You had a few dozen mech warriors fighting it out to die and saving a population, saving millions dying in total war. So I could see it, that's another thing. It's Robot Jox is the same idea, the movie Robot Jox, where it's a surrogate for fighting. And you want it to be, they already have robot wars, like the robots fighting each other. So if you just scale it up, and eventually people get sick of actual war, maybe that'd be an alternative, is a surrogate war, and you gotta make it entertaining. So might as well have big giant robots fighting each other, right?
Right? I'd be down for that.
So I can see that more, yeah. I like the idea of fighting in space. I think robots work in, like, suits work in space. And that'd be another reason you probably want piloted mechs in space too, because the distances. You're not gonna, like, the lag on telling Rover to do something on Mars is huge. But
right.
If you need a pilot in those suits and be able to think on his feet. So I can see that a lot more. It's not over. Maybe over for us. We'll never see this, but
we might not see it, but
far
future generations, when they discover these things called podcasts.
Yeah. Please remember us. We never got to see mech fights in real life.
What was it? Was it Opportunity?
Mech fights in real life.
Was it Opportunity that recently powered down on Mars?
Yeah, was that the one? Yeah, I think so.
It's one of the two.
Yeah. Man, that little guy kept going.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
We'll be back for you, buddy.
I mean, if we take a look at a tactical standpoint then, with mechs versus tanks, I mean, now you're talking about...
we forgot about tanks for a while.
Well, no, but now you're looking at a silhouette. I mean, when I say will they replace tanks, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is, are mechs the next war machine?
Yeah, because tanks are already gone. It's now Hummers with machine guns on top. That's the new tank. Like,
yeah, tanks are phasing out too. I mean,
there's no reason for a tank. You're not having the Battle of the Bulge or Battle of Stalingrad or any of those huge ones where it's just thousands of tanks running at each other. It just doesn't happen anymore. You want mobile people moving around, and I think mechs actually work better for mobile than tanks do, because, like I say, you can crouch, you can hide, you can.
Well, that's the thing, though. Your silhouette is big, whereas your tank is low, so your silhouette is not better than a tank.
But I think you can move around a lot better than a tank. A tank can't climb a mountain. A tank, like...
to a point you can.
No, not really. You hit any kind of bad ground, a tank's pretty screwed.
But a tank will go faster on open ground.
Will it, though? Not compared to MechWire vehicles. Like a Locust is freaking fast. And even those, the powered armor they're making for the soldiers, it's increasing their speed by quite a bit by having the powered muscles and all that stuff. Well, did you see recently they had that discovery of, it's pretty much Myomar, fiber where it looks like a piece of muscle that it's, I don't even know what it's made out of, but you add electricity to it, and it tightens up and stuff. Like, that's exactly what you need for that. Like, it's the technology's coming towards it. It just, is it going to be used for it? That's the question.
Or is it practical for the way weapons are moving forward too? But
like you say, that there's always that fear factor.
I still think mobility-wise, they might be just a little bit faster. Tanks are.
Yeah.
Well, I think
they're definitely easier to transport.
I don't see tanks being phased like in that same kind of vein. Like, you look at 08th MS team, right?
Yeah.
It was never just the Gundams by themselves. They had, like, a support team that was in, like, a tank-like vehicle.
Yeah, sure. In Genlock, they did the same thing.
And Battletech, they do too, yep. It's always combined forces, yep.
Because, a tank is a great, powerful, armed,
so it's a mobile
weapon.
weapons platform.
Once again, that's even more of a one-trick pony. You got one big gun, that's all you're doing is shooting things. At least a mech, you could throw on different weapon systems and...
Like, you can do the same to a tank.
It's all about space and energy,
Yeah. But, it's one of those things where it will, I see it as being like, what are the requirements of your operation? Is it something where, okay, we need 5 guys to go in, very covert, very light? Is it an operation where you're expecting resistance? Okay, you're, probably bringing a tank or 2 to really, flex your might, and, that definitely puts the fear of God in a lot of people, I imagine.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, you're expecting heavy, like, tank resistance. Okay, now let's bring our stompy robot, because he can just stomp on them, or dodge out of the way, or,
mobility, I think, also, think of, Patlabor, where they're the police, really. So imagine that, you have some kind of riots in the streets, you walk out of a 20-foot tall mech, you're most likely going to disperse pretty quick. I think that once again, it's intimidation factor. It might not be the most effective thing, but it is something that's going to be like, oh my god, that thing can just stomp us.
The city takes so much more damage than...
but they're staying in the streets. It's not going to be mech on mech fighting. It's going to be them preventing other people. There's a reason that, people used elephants in war and things. It wasn't because they were effective. It was because they were scary as hell.
This is true. Because they were really hard to turn around once you sent them going.
Well, it's not like, and once again, it's an easy target, but when you have a herd of elephants running at you, you're most likely going to run away. So if you get a herd of mechs running at you, it might be a deterrent.
Yeah.
And, it's the question is, where are they fighting? Why are they fighting? And like, I think...
What are we fighting for?
The current, environment, I don't think a mech is very useful. It's just a human's gonna do a better job because you're gonna go room to room.
Or a drone, like you were saying. I think drone combat is something that, the 80s and the 90s didn't really predict too well.
No.
And then, like, one of the times I remember is Macross Plus.
Shadowrun got it right.
Shadowrun got it right. But in Macross Plus, the big thing there is they've got, we've been testing out these 2 jet designs to replace all of our VF1s and whatever. But we're going to test out this drone one too that's not piloted at all. And what do you know? It's super good at its job.
But it's always open to hacking or whatever, those kind of things too, right?
Or, giant singing robots.
Well, that too.
Or hacking into their system, hypnotizing people.
Radio jamming, just...
Or like in Pacific Rim, you don't want drones because they get taken over by the monsters.
That's true.
Uprising. You were silly.
Speaking of Pacific Rim, though, that's another... It matters why you need a mech, but you're fighting a giant monster. You might want a mech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something you can go toe to toe with it.
So we need to prepare for the day that we get interdimensional monsters coming to destroy us.
When the kaiju come.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro has seen the future.
Yeah, he's a prophet for our times, people. We must listen to...
The prophet Guillermo.
Yeah.
Along with all of the vampires that are going to take over the world.
Well, that's already happened. You just don't know it. Mechs versus vampires. I want to see that.
So, I guess to conclude, at this point, mechs are not a viable function and probably would not replace the tank.
But
not on Earth.
They can walk upstairs, though. Tanks can't walk upstairs.
They could drive upstairs.
Not if they're really big stairs.
Yeah, you make some steps that are specifically designed for Mecha.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
this is not a tank accessible stairway.
But in the future, possibly. I mean, it's still iffy to think,
I can see the Genlock, not the actual Genlocks, but their support tank, their support mechs.
Yes.
They're a lot more likely. They're just like higher, they have a better view of the land where they're a little higher up, good mobility, and they just got big guns on their sides.
Or like the, what was the basic unit in Iron-Blooded Orphans that they start out with? They're basically like little tanks, but they have like arms on them and stuff. Yeah. Like that's probably the next step up after we resolve our power armor. It's like, okay, we have slightly more compact tanks.
Yeah.
Or even like
that have arms.
Ghost in the Shell.
The giant mech.
Ghost in the Shell
will only come out into fruition depending on
what timeline we're on.
Well, no, or
necessity.
Out of necessity. If giant monsters happen.
Or space. I think you're already seeing like you said, the Canadarm in the space station. It's that kind of stuff where in space it's not going to be necessarily for warfare, but if there was a war, you would modify it.
It would get repurposed. For sure.
But like you say, even the Gundam balls, those things were there. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they started off as construction vehicles, and then they started putting guns on them.
Which
was a great plan.
I love those things. They're so cute. They're way better than Haru. Balls for life.
Even a certain Transformer started as a miner.
a little kid?
Uh-huh. A miner, not a minor.
Well, that's a whole other conversation. Are Transformers viable?
So,
living robots, we're on our way.
We're on our way. All right. I thought that was very interesting. I mean, it's fun to think about and, piece together with what we have in the world today to be able to make it viable as a war machine, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Yeah, the future is a brave new world.
But definitely. I'm telling you right now, within 10 years, I will see mechs for construction.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't doubt that that's going to happen. I think mechs practical use right now is better for engineering than warfare.
Might be more like Brian said, the gun tank, where it's tracked, but you're gonna have arms, you're gonna be able to lift up things and put it into place. Because it's just, we'll see. China will be the place to do it, I'm sure, because they construct so much stuff. Well, they're already talking about flying like fire engines, because they have so many high rises.
Oh yeah,
they have like designs for flying fire engines and stuff like that, which it's similar idea. So we'll see. Right. Anti-gravity is what we need.
There you go. All right, so that was a good talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's move on to ExFil. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get out of here. We'll have to prepare for we only have a couple weeks to prepare for the next one, so we can't use all our good topics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's ExFil out of here.
All right, guys, it's time for the ExFil. I'm going to finish up another episode of Mobile Armor Radio. As always, I don't know.
As always, we don't know how to end the show.
Exactly.
As always, you can go to the Mobile Armor Radio Kickstarter page, or Kickstarter. Oh, geez, I wish. Mobile Armor Radio Facebook page.
As always, we make up stuff.
We're gonna kickstart a Mobile Armor Radio podcast.
That's right. Facebook page, and we're also on Twitter, which is MArmor Radio, I believe. And come join our Discord. Discord, I try to kind of cover some of the stuff we put on Kickstarter, because there's guys who aren't on Kickstarter. Why I keep saying that? Facebook.
Got it on the brain, man.
I do. I've gotten so many Kickstarters. I know. Facebook. So, a lot of people aren't on Facebook, so that's what Discord kind of covers some of that. So we get post some pictures up there and have discussions. And you can, I find you have more chat.
I have to be more better at putting pictures in the Discord too.
Yeah, you can have more of a chat about stuff. Like I find you kind of get lost in the comments on Facebook because they're not linear. Like you can there's like nesting comments, so you don't.
Oh yeah. Whereas
in the chat in Discord, it's linear, so you just read the whole chat. So I think it works a lot better.
Just read the whole thing, everybody.
Plus, there's lots of fun things on Discord, and we'll be posting the rules up for Mechzone 3.0.
Yep. If you're in the Chicagoland area and you haven't been, go to Mitsuya.
Yes.
Especially if you're a Gundam fan.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Try out Giga Robo. It looks fun. I haven't played it yet, but I'll let you know.
Are they in the Chicago area also?
I think they are, actually.
Everything's in Chicago.
Well, that's the center of the universe.
It seems like it.
We'll get some Alpha Strike underneath their wings, get some more Cav going on. So many mech things to do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Other Brian wanted to do like a play-by-mail kind of thing, so we'll see if that pans out. I don't know how that's going to work.
He's got to work out the bugs for that.
Yeah.
Before I can get.
Like I said, it'd be much easier to do over Skype with a webcam, but
yeah,
play-by-mail is kind of weird. What is this? The
Knight to A4.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll send him back my reply in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's like, what are we living in the 50s?
The 1850s.
Yeah.
Anyway,
play by what's the Morse code?
yeah.
That's it.
Telegram.
Telegram. That's it. We can do it.
So, all right. Well, guys, thanks for listening to Mobile Armor Radio. I've been Chopper.
I've been Brian.
I'm still Rob.
And we will see you next month, May 1st.
Yeah, we won't screw this one up.
Yeah.
Should be back on track by then.
It was an April Fool's joke that we took a week off.
That's right.
It just lasted too long and was no longer funny. We apologize.
I think it's still funny.
I think we're actually I'm going to toot our own horn here, and I think for the fact that we were late and everything, we still are coming out fairly on time.
Yeah.
As long as Rob can get it.
Yeah, no pressure. Thanks, Pat.
I think Rob is an excellent editor.
No pressure.
Well, this one's easy because it's you know.
Click, then boom.
Yeah, we're not too bad. We don't go on tangents like some of my other podcasts with some of my other podcasts hosts, so we're solid here, I think.
And this one, we're actually even a little bit more solid than before. We were actually kind of. This might be our shortest podcast.
I don't think so. I think we prattled on enough.
Oh, okay.
I feel like we talked for quite a bit, but it could be. Who knows?
Well, we'll only know in the edit, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, guys. We will see you next month. Stay tuned. Keep playing robots. We will see you then.
Yep.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
This has been Mobile Armor Radio. Join our Facebook group by searching for Mobile Armor Radio. Find us on Twitter @MArmorRadio. Find us on iTunes and visit our website, mobilearmorradio.podbean.com. Join us on the first of every month for more Mecha discussion.